So you beautiful people, who here believes that Call of Duty is so close to being that great game, one of the best Call of Duties we've ever had? In this video today, I'm going to go through the top 5 improvements, top 5 improvements that I believe would just drastically change this game for the better. Now, don't get it twisted for a second. I am not out here to bash Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I am thoroughly enjoying myself, but it doesn't come without its frustrations. Now, it hasn't been as frustrating as Black Ops 4 for me, but there are definitely a few slight improvements that I would suggest to Infinity Ward to really just change the whole dynamic of this game, because currently the ball is firmly in the campers' ballpark at the moment, and the rest of us are genuinely suffering here. So there are going to be 5 things on the list in no particular order, so let's get into the list. Number 1, it's got to be the footstep sounds. For me, footsteps in this game are just far too loud. Your footsteps, your enemy's footsteps, your teammates' footsteps, they're all just too loud, and this has a adverse effect on the outcome in terms of gameplay, because people are just so scared to move right now. If you're a camper, this game is paradise for you, but if you're someone like me who likes to rush, you will get heavily penalized because you just sound like an elephant running down the road in tap dancing shoes. You're going to expose your position to whoever is willing to sit there and wait for you. So a reduction of around 50% is what I would recommend to Infinity Ward, and I feel like this will start bringing people out of their shell and stop them being in those corners so much. Now, people are always going to camp. It's a valid playstyle. It's not what I would choose. I find it highly boring, but right now the cards are firmly placed on their side. They've got the better deal at the moment. So segueing on footsteps, it's natural that I talk about number 2, which is dead silence. They have implemented dead silence totally wrong in this game. It should not be a field upgrade whatsoever. It should be a perk. Every Call of Duty I've ever played has had dead silence or ninja, and it's probably the first perk that I go for because I hate hearing my own footsteps. I like to be able to work out where people are going, where people are coming from, so I can chase them down, get the kill, or I can catch them off guard when they're coming around the corner. You know, it's just the way I like to play the game. But I don't want to be static all the time. I don't want to have to wait for people. I want to be able to run and catch campers off guard, and that's my problem at the moment. The game is just it's not rewarding campers in any shape or form. So if I do go for a camper, they've got the drop on me before I even get to them, because I have to use this dead silence as a field upgrade. I've got to wait till it charges, and it's not even fully silent. It's just lower footsteps, but it's still audible, so you can still hear me coming. And a lot of times I've been killed using the field upgrade, so I think it's just totally useless personally. And I feel like although I have noticed if you kill someone whilst using it, you kill a certain amount of people, it will extend the period of time. I just feel like I'm not going to say useless because that's an insult to it, but it's just not as good as the old traditional dead silence. So that's something that I would incorporate, a dead silence perk. Forget the field upgrade, it's not needed at all. So moving on, I know a lot of people have complained about the maps and the map design. Now personally, I don't genuinely feel like it's the map design themselves. It's something about the maps that I feel the problem is, because I'm quite bored of 3-lane maps. I like the mix and blend that they've tried to incorporate here. There's some 3-lane maps, there's some maps that seem like more of a real life situation, and I really like that because it creates a dynamic and a different type of play style in terms of when you're playing that particular map. However, the one thing that I will say is flawed in the map design is there's too many windows. There are far too many windows, and I feel like the most obvious solution is not to totally redesign the maps, but obscure certain windows that are exposed in the game at the moment. I'd reduce the amount of windows by about 20-25%, so people like myself who do rush have got a more predictable amount of windows to look to. When we're running around the corner, we can calculate in our head very quickly, okay, there's 2 windows that I know I might get scoped from here, but at the moment there's like 50 windows. Okay, That may be a slight exaggeration, but there are a lot of windows to contend with. Now, if you have a whole team in 10v10 all posted in windows, then it's no man's land if you go in a road, because you're just going to get absolutely destroyed. Now, I don't want that dynamic totally pulled away from the game, because I feel like this is what's going to set Modern Warfare aside from all the other Call of Duties we've played, and I feel like it's definitely got a more immersive feel to it, and the realism I really appreciate. But I feel like they've just pulled it too far away from Call of Duty right now. So just I feel 20-25% will be a happy medium to what the developers Infinity Ward like to implement in the game, but what we feel is a more familiar type of Call of Duty. So going on to number 4. Now, we've got to talk about Ghost, and there's several reasons why we've got to talk about Ghost. Nobody wants to move in this game. As I've stated, footsteps definitely contribute to that, but I think the biggest contributor I should say, to the camping and the slowness of this game is the fact that they've not learnt from lessons made in previous Call of Duties, and they've allowed Ghost to keep you totally off the radar. So when I keep saying that the campers have firmly got the cards, the better deal in their hands, the ball's firmly in their court, it's because all the advantages in this game are firmly placed with campers. Loud footsteps so you can hear when people are coming. You can't be exposed. You can't expose your position, because we don't get shots on the mini-map unless you've got a UAV. So to keep that balance, you need to show people who are camping in corners on the radar. If you stay there for a certain period of time, you should be exposed. Your gunfire should be exposed. Those are the only red dots that I would put on the mini-map. Yes, people may counteract this by using silencers, which is fine with me, but at least let me know where people are on. If I put up a UAV, if they choose to stay in the same position, so I can adapt my playstyle for that particular moment to actually give them a fair challenge, or have a fair challenge I should say, because right now I love the cat and mouse game. I've always loved the cat and mouse game between rushers and campers, but the campers, 2 claymores, shrapnel, not showing up on the radar when you're using Ghost, that's why I run past people and I'm shutting my back. Look at the kill cam and it's just somebody ADSing. This will speed up the game and get the flow of the game going, because that's what Call of Duty Modern Warfare is suffering from, Ron. It's rather lethargic to play this game for a period of time, because it's just the same old kill cams that you see over and over and over again. Now, my final improvement for this game, number 5, is more of a personal preference here, but I feel like the callouts just need to go. They're totally irrelevant. I feel like they reduce the skill gap, and often I've had callouts made by myself about myself, if that makes sense, where the enemies just pick me off. It's just ridiculous. I don't get why they've feel the need to implement this in the game. They did it in Infinite Warfare. It gives away your position. It gives away their position. I appreciate callouts in terms of for my teammates and stuff, but I don't appreciate callouts to where my enemies are, because it gives my position away. If this is something that they really want to incorporate and keep in, how about making it so you audibly are warned about something in the game, but the opposition can't hear it? Because it would be fair on both sides then. So if that's how you're trying to dumb down the skill gap, then that's how it needs to be implemented. But for me, I would just hear, if I'm throwing a grenade, you know how it used to be back in Call of Duty, Tango Sucker, all them sort of things. It adds to the atmosphere, but it doesn't need to be so it gives away my position or your position. So that's my top 5 improvements for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I believe those are the ones that are the most needed. However, if you have any suggestions, drop them down in the comment section. If you believe I've missed anything. I know a lot of people have had stuff to say about the doors, but I feel like the doors add extra layer in this game that is really needed for that more competitive demeanor. And again, I feel like they increase the skill gaps. I've had so many outrageous plays by using doors lately that I really like the implementation of them. But guys, there are many buttons you could hit, but a like and subscribe button, I hope they took your fancy. And as always, guys, don't forget to stay on, oh my god, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.